a story about people, of God's people, who for thousands of years had been enslaved in Egypt. And they would cry out to God for many of those years, and God finally heard them and sent a man by the name of Moses. And in sending Moses, the people, not just Israelites, but the Egyptians also saw the power of God experienced in so many miraculous ways. We call them the 10 plagues. So with those 10 plagues, finally, Pharaoh's heart was softened, and then he let God's people go. Amen. Then as they traveled, God continued to do miraculous things that only God can do. So as they continued on, Israel continued to be Israel. They would murmur. They would complain. They would bicker. They would argue. And here's the craziest thing. Even though they saw God's miraculous power, they still would doubt. They still wouldn't always believe. They still would always question. Then it became a point in time when God got tired and sick of them. Do y'all know that God sometimes is merciful, but there comes a point in time where he gets sick of us? His grace runs out and he gets tired of us. And so he told the people of Israel, this generation won't see the promised land because of your ways and the way that you don't believe me at all costs. Your generation won't see the promises that I have for you. So then I looked a little bit further, and what God showed me was, it wasn't because of their sin. It wasn't because of their disobedience. It was really because of their mindset. And God showed me it's not about your mindset, but it's supposed to be about your heart set. And then I got this question, and then it said, what truths that are God sent are we denying or failing to believe? But because of this mindset, God showed me Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. There is now a generation of young people who will not care what you think, who will worship God according to their hearts. This generation who doesn't care of the excuses, the obstacles, the strongholds, but are going to push. The generation who's not afraid to jump and fly on the wings of God's promises, who will boldly be like Joshua and lead into the promises of God. This generation that's rising up won't get everything right, but they will be like the young David and stand up and challenge those Goliaths and those things that aren't of God. These people this generation won't use the excuse of the inadequacies of themselves. Here's a generation who's not fearful to respond to the call, but will be like a young Isaiah and say, here I am, send me, I will be the one.
Oh God, this next generation needs you. God, you said that in the last days, you shall pour out your spirit upon all flesh. You said that the young people shall prophesy. And God, the young people need against suicidal thoughts. I pray against drugs. I pray against bullying. And I speak over the lives of the young people that they will not fall into the hands of temptations. The young people will get back in place with you. They will hunger for holiness. And the hunger will be so great that it will be unexplainable. In the name of Jesus, God, I declare right now that we, your young people, we will present ourselves as living sacrifices. Our lives are in your hands. We make the choice. We make the vow right now that God, we will not give in to peer pressure. We will not give in, God, to suicidal thoughts. We will not give in to what the enemy has to offer. We will not give in to the plans of the enemy. But God, we stand and we say we will be holy. We will keep our bodies pure. We will keep our bodies pure. We'll keep our minds pure. In the name of Jesus, we will not give in to drugs. We will not give in to drinking.